Right. Okay. Well, I think got a lot of definitions kind of under our belt, so let's look at some examples and strategies for using AI and machine learning for marketing analytics. And so the first one we want to look at is using machine learning to sharpen cross-selling and upselling. And of course, these are probably some of the first things that organizations want to do with marketing analytics is how they can figure out what are complementary products or services that a customer would be interested in. And then with upselling, how do you get the customer to upgrade or move up to more profitable products and services? And so both of these are critical strategies. Cross-selling in particular, we see a lot, not just to try to get customers to buy more products, but also to get them to try new things that a company might be trying to introduce into the market. A lot of those kinds of add-ons or activity or kinds of different products that may be related to the other ones, or products that are trying to get the company into a new market or to improve their competitive posture versus competitors, to come up with competitive differentiators. So a lot of information needs to be kind of mined and put together to really understand what would be the best offers. And a lot of companies are kind of stymied by their kind of primitive tools that they're using for cross-selling and upselling kind of analysis and invoking that in marketing analytics and marketing optimization. And so the idea of what you can do with machine learning, and really just the idea of looking at all the different data sources you have, is to, well, use computers, use machines to look at huge volumes of data that are generated by lots of different sources, including the customer analytics kind of sources like customer behavior, but also look at previous campaigns, how they did, what their performance records were, how the customer path to a transaction went, what you know about that. Pull all that data together and then begin to look at, use machine learning, as Fern mentioned, describing machine learning, to train models to use the data, look at customer history, look at the preferences, look at what's happened before, use predictive analytics and things like segmentation to also see if you can find the right customer and match the customer with the cross-sell or upsell kind of proposal. And of course, the big point here is again ROI, to see if you can narrow it down so that you're not wasting the customer's time and wasting the company's time, and are more likely to hit the target. And so key things here is using customer analytics to improve the relevance of the offers, and then to use things like machine learning, or use machine learning to understand what other kind of segments of customers, what different types of customers may have done, so you have a deeper understanding, and also the speed, be able to do all this, use computers to do this much, much faster, in fact, often in real time, using automated systems decision management to provide those kind of cross-sell and upsell offers in or at near real time. Let me give it to you to do the next example.
Okay, sure. So let's talk about next best offer enabled by machine learning and decision management. So Dave was talking about cross-selling and upselling, and if that's about enticing customers to buy more products or new products or services to increase revenue, the goal of the next best offer is about providing customers with the offer, like the product or the promotion, that's the most relevant to them. So for instance, a media streaming company might suggest a show to watch based on shows that the customer already watched. And historically, marketers might determine a set of rules based on what they know about their customer base to do some of this next best offer type of work. And so, for example, if a retailer had a list of pregnant women based on them registering at a baby registry, then they're going to send them coupons associated with babies. That's a simple way of sort of offering sort of a next best offer. Some organizations go further. They segment their customers and they offer them up a predefined set of offers. So they divide their customer base into groups that are similar, and based on what they think they know about how they would respond, they give them these offers. In many cases, using these techniques doesn't really provide the customer with what they really want. It's better than blanketing everyone with the same offer, but marketing can do better than that. So some organizations are using machine learning, which we talked about, to provide better next best offers. So with machine learning, organizations can understand how small customer segments or even micro segments are going to respond to an offer. So as we've been talking about, a learning system is going to be trained based on past customer actions. And that model might be combined with a set of decision rules that are part of this decision management system. So for instance, a rule might be, might deal with whether a customer is actually eligible for a product. So it might be that you think that has a high probability that they might respond, but maybe they're not eligible. So in this way, the model and the rules are actually instantiated into the system. So we're using decision management to specify the rules, take the model, and often to automate the model to do it at scale. So, also what's happening in these decision management systems is that a contact history might also be maintained to understand how the customer might have already responded to a similar offer. So the system can learn from that. And the decision management tool might also track how customers responded, as I said, to offers, and then automatically adjust the offers. Or it may be that it learns enough so that it doesn't, between the learning and the rules, it knows not to make an offer. So you can see that this type of machine learning with decision management can actually help marketing analytics become much more effective and increase ROIs, as Dave was talking about. So Dave, you're going to talk about the next strategy about optimizing marketing.
Right. So a lot of this comes together, the idea of, again, how do you improve your marketing, use analytics effectively, use more powerful analytics with machine learning and AI. And so here we're going to talk about the idea of optimizing marketing with analytics and machine learning, and thinking back to Fern's definition of optimization, about deciding how to best utilize limited resources under uncertainty to find the best alternative under given constraints by maximizing desired factors and minimizing undesired. So that's what's going on here is trying to use the principles of optimization, use the idea of mathematical computation, use optimization kind of analytics to improve marketing. And this has never been more important because marketing is getting much more complicated as you look across multiple channels. There's a lot more data, a lot more factors. It's almost like the more you know, the more factors, the more variables there are, the more potential constraints there are, particularly when you think about not only just budget constraints, but also privacy policies, other kinds of regulatory issues, and as you go across geographies and so forth, this changes as you move across the globe, in the EU and so forth. So it's important to think about what your constraints are, think about what the variables you want to look at are, and kind of pull that all together, and it becomes a very complex problem. And so it's important to be able to use software, use the compute capability to look at optimization and analyze it, and do it obviously quickly so you can make decisions about what kind of offers to provide your customers, what kind of things you want to do with marketing campaigns, and do it in the optimal amount of speed. And so here you'd be using machine learning, again, to learn from the data, to inform predictive analytics. So you can do a lot of predictive analytics to improve your optimization, because one of the things you want to do with optimization is a lot of measurement and looking back at whether your decisions for how to optimize campaigns and the kinds of campaigns you chose, whether they were the best decisions you could have made and how they could be made more effective. And so it becomes kind of hopefully a continuous feedback loop and a positive loop of using analytics, plugging that into your marketing and optimization plans and how the campaigns are run, analyzing that effectively and going back, and doing that across all of your different web channels and across lots of different other channels. So what you're trying to do then is improve your prediction, become more accurate, and then about understanding the effect of the constraints that you have, and then be able to employ that kind of knowledge to develop good marketing campaigns. And the instantiation, again, similar to what Fern was just talking about, is decision management, the ability to automate all of that, build the intelligence into your automated marketing campaigns, use optimization effectively that way, and integrate the analytics with the decision management to have your automated recognition response. In other words, recognizing different trends, different patterns, different things that are going on with customer preferences and their movement through your marketing campaigns and through their experiences with you and be able to respond effectively and really in a short amount of time. Vern, I think you're up next.
Right. So we're going to talk about voice of the customer enabled by NLP. And so the goal is, obviously, marketing wants to gain customer insight and understand customer opinions and preferences. And, you know, that's a major goal of marketing analytics, to make marketing more effective. Marketers want to understand what customers think of their products and what they like and what they don't like about them. And this is often referred to as voice of the customer. So some organizations will analyze clickstream data to see what customers might want. Others survey their customers. Some set up online review sites where customers can rate their products. So all of these are good starting points. However, customers are also stating their opinions and preferences in many ways. So they're sending emails to organizations. They're tweeting about products online. They're filling in online reviews. They're calling customer service agents to complain. You know, all of this involves natural language. So as I mentioned earlier, if your organization is using text or social media analytics tools, you might already be using some sort of NLP technology. Of course, these tools sort of vary, but, and as I said before, NLP extracts meaning. It extracts the semantics sort of from the text. So for instance, a marketing department for a health and beauty company might launch a campaign for a new product. And, you know, sales are up and they think that everything's great. But in reality, the customer might not like the product, and they may take to social media to complain about it. You know, maybe the product causes the skin to break out. So if the health and beauty company can analyze these tweets using NLP technology, they're going to be able to understand what people are talking about and their sentiment, positive, negative, and neutral, and even how emotional they might be about it from the words they're using in their tweets. Some NLP engines can work with that sort of thing. So they're using NLP to understand voice of the customer to help, you know, inform their marketing goals and, you know, make their marketing campaigns more, and what they're even doing with their products, more effective. You know, but it's also one thing to know that your brand reputation is being compromised, say in the case of this product, but it's another thing to act on it. So some companies are using technologies to respond to negative social media in real time. Other companies are actually blending this text data from these social channels with other data about their customers to be able to provide them an offer or take another next best action. So they're combining multiple kinds of analytics together, multiple kinds of data together, and multiple kinds of analysis together to be more effective in their marketing. So taking this sort of one step further, when you think about the customer experience and your marketing analytics to make them more effective, I mean, that really includes the entire interaction that a customer has with the company. So, and that includes customer service and support. So for many companies, the customer experience also involves dealing with this customer service agent. So cognitive computing and NLP can actually enhance this in several ways that would seem to be intelligent, you know, taking sort of an intelligent action. So that's why I'm talking about cognitive and NLP for this narrowly focused sort of thing. So when you think about calling a call center, many organizations are routing calls to the same call center regardless of who the individual customer is and what they might need. Some organizations take this a step further by linking call center support to loyalty programs or some other information about the customer, like the amount spent. So, you know, based on if you spent a lot, maybe you get routed faster and you're routed to a specific call center, you know, if you have a question. Other organizations route calls to customer service agents based on other criteria. But what can happen is that NLP technology can actually be used to parse language to understand what people want to know about. So you can translate voice to text and then use NLP to route, based on what the customer is talking about, to route them to the appropriate customer service and support agent. So you might call and there might be a customer who calls the call center because they have a problem with their phone service. So they can be routed based on who they are and what they're asking about. So that's sort of a form of cognitive computing. It's intelligently doing this. Likewise, it can be used for online customer interaction. So some companies, if you've seen those pop-up chat boxes, some of them are pretty rudimentary now, but you can imagine, and some of them do use some NLP or cognitive type of computing to interact with the customer. So cognitive computing is involving this natural language processing to enable a more conversational-like interaction with the software. And that means that the software can be used for automated customer question and answer. And the interactions then are occurring in this more natural way, and that becomes part of the experience. And we've been talking about this flexible offers on the fly. There's also that example. So if you take the automated routing a step further, NLP and machine learning together can help to make suggestions, maybe even to the customer service representative who answers the call regarding what kind of offer to speak to the caller about if it's appropriate. So we talked about that earlier. And the customer service rep doesn't need to know that these technologies are operating behind the scenes. They're, just making use of them. So this is actually this type of scenario makes use of a number of the different types of components and enablers that we were talking about. And Dave, I'll let you do the last one about transforming web analytics into digital intelligence.
Right. Okay. Well, thanks, Vern. So web analytics is probably well known to many, and there's lots of tools out there. What people do with web analytics is they measure, analyze, and report on web traffic primarily. So they want to see what visitors are doing to their at their websites, where there are things that may be broken, how they can fix them, whether they're directing or guiding visitors properly to areas that are important to the company that will be more profitable, that are introducing them maybe to the cross-sell and upsell kind of offers, those kind of things. And the problem with a lot of web analytics is that it tends to be kind of canned reporting. There's often increasingly good visualization available to look at the data that you're getting up the web traffic, but it's kind of limited to that. And so what a lot of organizations want to do today is they want to get to deeper insights. They want to do more deeper learning to understand what's going on with their customers. How does it connect with what they know through customer analytics or through their customer activity across channels? How can they begin to build some of that knowledge both with the web traffic data and also use some of the knowledge that they're getting elsewhere to improve what's going on in the web presence and the web experience that visitors are getting, and also to know what they don't know, basically to understand things that go beyond what they're seeing in the reporting, will understand questions, the unknown unknowns, I guess, as some people call it. And so machine learning and more advanced analytics is very helpful for this. And one of the concepts that's being used a lot out there, particularly by people like Forrester Research, is the idea of digital intelligence. So we're starting to see this move from web analytics to digital intelligence, which is really about getting a more holistic view, a bigger view, a more complete view of the customer experience, because obviously the web is no longer an island. It's not just some sort of specialized thing as it may have developed to a lot of companies, but it's integral to everything they're doing in terms of customer engagement. And so all the knowledge that they have about customers you want to bring to bear on the web presence, and also the knowledge that you're gaining from the online experiences. You want to have that inform what's going on in marketing activities in other channels. And so digital intelligence is really about the idea of pulling all this together. And so more advanced analytics and AI, machine learning, are critical for this, because then you can begin to learn more from the data, try predictive models, do a lot of testing to understand in a deeper way what you're learning from the web experience of visitors. And so it's about using machine learning to deepen that knowledge, but also to reduce latency between analysis and operationalizing the insights for web engagements. So again, using machine learning, using optimization, so you begin to shorten that latency and can be able to respond quickly to what visitors are doing. If you're discovering that something on the website is not working, that you're not guiding people to where they want to go, a change can be made very quickly. And we can see out there really in the leaders online that they do, in fact, make changes very quickly as you move through, I won't name the company names, but some of the well-known companies that are really leading out there, able to move very quickly, so those are good examples. So let's go to sum it up here. And so in conclusion, I think we've shown that AI in marketing, a lot of people say, well, that's pretty futuristic. Well, in fact, it's not futuristic, really. It's already happening. It's being used by leading companies to do more effective marketing campaigns, to optimize their marketing, to use things like natural language processing and other AI techniques effectively. So organizations can do projects today that use AI and use it effectively. The overall objective, thinking back to the idea of marketing analytics, you want to make it efficient and effective. So using these kind of more advanced techniques to improve those two goals and ultimately to improve the return on investment, ROI, and improve the customer and visitor experience. And you want to use customer analytics more effectively. Use the deeper knowledge you have about customers to inform marketing decisions, begin to connect those together and use data effectively. So just summarizing the 6 strategies we've had: cross-selling and upselling, you can use it there. Next best offer, marketing optimization, very important there for speeding up and reducing latency. Voice of the customer to make contact and call centers more effective. Customer service. And then finally, as we discussed, moving from kind of canned reporting of web analytics to digital intelligence. So we get a pretty good breakout, and I think that makes sense because these are pretty leading-edge concepts that we're talking about here.
I want to be sure to mention to the audience that there's a TDWI checklist report that today's presentation is based around. Much more information on today's topic in that checklist report. If you registered for this webinar, and you did if you're on this call, you'll be getting an email with a link to that report when it's ready. So just a heads up on that.